Hey, it's Marla at Twinstrology, and this is your Twin Flame Divine Love Energy Report for June 9th until June 20th. That's going to take us up to the summer solstice, and I have a special report about the summer solstice, so watch out for that. Before I get started, I just want to remind you that I do personal readings, both astrology readings and tarot readings, or a combination of both. And you can find out more information on my website, which is twinstrology.com. You can also get there through marlakelly.com. Please follow me on Facebook for the most up-to-date information. I do post a lot of articles in between these reports, so that's the best way to get the most current stuff from me. Also want to remind you about Twin Flames Together in Chicago. This is a workshop I'm doing with Dio, Dio's actually organizing it, but also Kalina, Negla, Terry, and Debbie. And this is going to be a weekend of shifts. Shifting your soul, shifting your vibration. We're all going up to the next level this month, guys. And if you want some extra help, this is the perfect place to get it. And being in a group of twin flames is awesome, fun, very high energy. And trust me, if you come to this conference, you are going to make a lot of lasting connections with others. Other people that are in the same situation as you. I know a lot of you out there don't have anyone who understands this, and you feel very alone. And I try to do my best to answer your messages, because I can feel when you reach out to me that many of you are feeling very alone and just looking for a friend. So if you can, come to this conference and make some lasting friendships with some people that can understand you. All right, let's talk about the full moon. Full moon happens on June 9th at 9:10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this moon is very much about manifesting and overcoming the limitations that you still have towards manifesting your creation. When the moon is in Sagittarius, there's this desire to expand. Sagittarius is about freedom. Okay, it doesn't like to feel limitations. And just prior to the moon coming into its opposition with the sun, moon's going to be meeting up with Black Moon Lilith. Now remember, the moon is your subconscious, and Lilith is a reminder for you to be your authentic self. So tap into that energy. Lilith represents being yourself at any cost. Remember, Lilith was kicked out of the Garden of Eden, but it was more important for her to be true to her values. And this is where we're all going. This is the shift that's taking place this month, as we are becoming more authentic. We're living from our hearts. We are ascending. We are embodying more of our higher self. So on the 9th, the moon goes on to meet the sun in Gemini, and Gemini is our thoughts and words. Sagittarius is our beliefs. So, remember, a full moon is where the sun and moon are opposite. So Gemini and Sagittarius are opposite signs. And this is going to show you where the patterns in your thoughts and words that are limiting your expansion and your ability to manifest what you are creating. And for some of you that have been doing the work for a long time, these might just be very small tweaks that you have to make. But this full moon is going to be the ideal time to dump all those things. We're also needing to let go of the past so that you can be free. And letting go of the need to know everything. That's the energy of Gemini. To me, Gemini and Sagittarius, this is the axis that represents knowledge. And Gemini is the energy of wanting to know everything, that very inquisitive mind. But we're needing to let go of that. In Sagittarius, we're guided to get more in touch with our intuition and just flow with what's happening. So this is your opportunity for you to let go of your need to know what's ahead, what's going on, what's my twin doing. Let go of all that and trust in your intuition. Both of them are mutable signs, which means they're very changeable. So this is good energy for changing patterns. We are in a shift and things aren't clear at all. And so that can be very confronting for people. And I understand it's hard to let go of that control, but you know that indeed is what we're all in the process in, letting go of that control, turning the control over to our higher self. So after the moon meets the sun, he goes on to meet Saturn, which represents your life path, your fears, and your karma. And Saturn is always showing us restrictions. So when he's active, that's what he's showing us. Or he's teaching us what we need to do to get in the direction of our life purpose. Saturn's been in retrograde since April 5th. And when he went retrograde, he was square Venus retrograde and Chiron in Pisces. So Saturn, and I've been talking about this, Saturn and Chiron are helping us ground the third energy. Saturn manifests things. Saturn is that solid foundation. He creates things in the 3D reality. And Chiron is multidimensional points. And Venus there in that retrograde, remember, if you go back to the video I did on Venus retrograde, we were bringing in and grounding that energy. Well, we've actually been grounding the third energy for about a year now. So it's reaching a tipping point there. So anyways, Saturn is helping us ground the third energy. He was talking with Venus and Chiron back when he went retrograde, and he saw some limitations to what we were trying to create. So he's going backwards in his retrograde to help you see them and let go of them. And so at this full moon, it's the ideal time to dump some of these things that were limiting you, to change some patterns in your life, and to clear up some of your karma. Especially karmic relationships, because remember, Jupiter was retrograde, but Jupiter is going direct today. Or not today, because I'm recording this on the 4th, but he's going direct on the 9th, the day of the full moon. So Saturn goes direct August 25th, which is a few days after the second eclipse that happens on the 21st. So between now and then, really work your Saturn. Work on letting go of this stuff. And the masculine energy in particular is really feeling the restrictions very intensely right now. And I want to just read the Sabian symbols. Sabian symbol for the moon is pelicans, disturbed by the garbage of people, move their young to a new habitat. So this is saying to you, where you're at is not the right place. You need to move. You know, according to the Sabian, there's too much garbage there. Now, that garbage can be too many things. And this could be representing you need to shift your consciousness and there's too much garbage in your head. Could be you need to shift your relationship because there's too much garbage in that relationship. You need to shift your situation or shift where you live, because I'm trying to think of another word for garbage, right? Because it doesn't literally mean garbage, but any kind of negativity, any kind of block, anything that's not in your best interest. Time to shift away from that. The sun is on the Sabian. In a museum, a large archaic volume reveals a traditional wisdom. So to me, this is representing you getting an increase of knowledge. And of course, as you embody more of your higher self, you have access to more knowledge, ancient knowledge, and you're integrating more of yourself that puts you in touch with more of your past lives and more of the knowledge and power and lessons that you were able to learn in past lives. And you begin to have access to all that information. There could also be a sign that downloads will be coming around this full moon. And the message I really got was it's time to believe in yourself. And it's time to put what you've learned into practice, which is the ability to let go of attachments. And the sun and the moon are both an aspect to Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. And Pluto is about letting go. Really, this month is going to be about you fully surrendering. Now we also have Pallas coming into a conjunction with Uranus. And that's going to be exact on the 17th, 18th, and 19th, just before the summer solstice. And this is going to be about illusions being seen. Pallas is your third eye, and this is where illusions can interfere. But when you get clarity, the illusions drop away. And of course, Uranus brings that sudden shift, that sudden insight that gives you clarity. This is big energy of awakening. So expect more people to awaken throughout the month. Kundalini activations as well as just third eye activations, and just flashes of deeper insight and deeper awareness. Chiron and Uranus, not Chiron, Uranus and Pallas are conjuncting on the Sabian symbol, a large disappointed audience. So again, this is showing you that changes need to be made. And when those illusions drop away through their conjunction, you're going to be able to see clearly what you need to shift out of. That there are changes that need to be made, and you're not going to be able to fight it anymore. Speaking a lot to the masculine energy there. There's also going to be a yod forming. Jupiter, sextile Vesta, and both of them in conjunct Neptune. Remember, a yod is another name for the finger of God, and it is a destined aspect, or an aspect that really focuses our attention on part of our path. So to me, this aspect is shifting us more on our spiritual path. Now Jupiter, who is going direct on the 9th, like I said, the day of the full moon, and Neptune are getting people on their spiritual path. They're going to be an aspect to each other for a while. And this is helping people awaken this aspect. And with Vesta there, people are longing for that deeper spiritual connection. And Vesta is going to intensify that feeling as she is devotion to our sacred mission. So it's about waking people up and putting them in touch with their sacred mission. Now, of course, everyone has different levels to their mission, but what I see, these three planets, the mission there is ascension. But there is potential for some sort of mystical experience to happen with these three planets getting together. Venus is also going to be sextiling Mars at the full moon. So that's a nice balancing of the masculine and feminine energies. Jupiter goes direct. And this is playing into that illusions being removed from our eyes as he goes direct. We've got that yod, like I just mentioned, longing for more spiritual connection with our partners. Remember, Vesta represents the sacred sexual as well. So looking for that deep connection. Jupiter, of course, being in Libra, focusing on partnerships. And I mentioned before that when Jupiter goes direct, that between now and October, those karmic relationships are going to begin to break down. And it felt like for many of the masculine energies, they had decided to give their karmic relationships another chance as Jupiter was retrograde. But that's going to change when Jupiter goes direct. And there'll be clarity, and the illusions are going to be falling away, like I said. Don't forget that Pallas and Uranus are in Aries, and that is the sign of focusing on yourself. It's the opposite of Libra. On the 11th, the moon is going to conjunct Pluto. So something can come to the surface, some kind of buried emotion, something that you are hiding. Especially, this is going to be potent with that Pallas Uranus going on, because you're going to be having more insight. On June 13th, Mercury in Gemini forms a grand trine with Jupiter and the moon, and Mercury is also opposing Lilith at the same time. It's funny because it's happening on the 13th, and those planets are all going to be at the 13th degree. And you may want to speak your truth on something, or you may understand some truth about yourself with that aspect going on. Neptune's also going to square Mercury, and this could bring intuitive insights, and I feel it's seeing the bigger picture. Again, these illusions, I feel the whole month, there's potential there for these illusions that you've been under to start dropping away, or in other words, waking up and seeing that a lot of your life that you've been living was simply an illusion. On the 15th, the Sun opposes Saturn. So once again, feeling your restrictions. But for many, this is going to be an impetus to shift into the new. Realization that, you know what, you need to move on. That decisions need to be made. And by this time, you're ready to try something new. On June 16th, Neptune goes retrograde. And this will be a time of healing and purification. I'm being told that the lessons for us around Neptune retrograde are going to have to do with boundaries. Neptune is the planet that dissolves boundaries. But in healthy relationships, boundaries are necessary. So his healing is around looking at this, looking at where you are also overly defensive, where you put up walls, where you expect negative outcomes. Neptune's going to put this into balance. So it's like you need to have boundaries, but you need to have, you know, there has to be a balance in the boundaries. If you don't have good boundaries, then you're taking on everyone's energy and you're not being your true authentic self because you're just running around projecting who other people want you to be. And Neptune is that energy of, you know, Neptune rules acting. So people that have strong Neptune in their chart, sometimes they take on roles to please the people around them rather than being themselves. Of course, Neptune is illusions as well. On the other hand, you don't want to have your boundaries so thick and so tight that no one can get in, that you have a wall up in front of your heart. So this is about healthy boundaries. Yeah, how to set those boundaries while being in the energy of oneness is what I was just told. And when Neptune goes retrograde, it's going to be conjunct the moon. So this could bring up a lot of emotions, and cleansing through tears is likely. And understanding the line between being an empath and being a martyr. Ascension requires us to break away from these old emotional patterns where we do for others based on emotional manipulation. And that's emotional manipulation both ways. Because like I was saying, sometimes the empath or the person that's lacking the boundaries is not their true self. Remember, when we're going to embody more of our higher self, we have to be our true self. Likewise, the other person can cause emotional manipulation because they're playing on the empath's feelings and sensitivities. The goddess that's overseeing the Sagittarius new moon is Freya, bold. Unleash your adventurous side. Take risks and be daring. Don't play it safe right now. Instead, take bold action in the direction of your true heart's desire. Success comes not from timidity, but from committing yourself fully to realizing your dream. Hold the clear intention of success and it shall come about. Enjoy the excitement of taking risks, of being bold, of becoming daring. And be sure to celebrate your success with a party or by splurging on a wonderful indulgence. Various meanings of this card. Take a risk. Make a bold life change. Appreciate your body. Flirt. Go have fun. And celebrate. Well, Freya, I think, really does embody the Sagittarian energy. Because Sagittarians, they have that boldness. And they have that love of adventure. And they have that distaste for limitations and boundaries. So if there's something that you've been thinking about doing that requires a bold move, now might be a good time to do it. Take a risk. Make life changes too. Call on Freya to give you assistance in following your paths. You know, if you feel like you're very challenged to make the changes in your life that you're being led to make. And that might be applying to some of you with the masculine energy. All right, the cards. First card for the feminine energy. Six of Pentacles. Well, it's time for you to receive. The universe is bringing you something. And I feel on some level the masculine is bringing you something. Now to me, this is your creation. This is your third energy grounding and bringing you into union. So I've been saying it for a while, but get ready to receive. And I keep meaning to do a video around receiving because I don't think that people really look at themselves and whether they can receive, and they just think, oh, I can receive, bring it on, universe. But really there's something sometimes inside that's blocking it, where you're not totally comfortable with receiving. A lot of people in our society are not comfortable with it because in order to receive, you have to be inactive. You know, she's just sitting there. You know, she looks like she's actually sitting in meditation. And she's just allowing the thing to be brought to her. But it's very hard for people in our society today not to take action or to accept things gracefully. We always feel like we have to give something in return. What giving is the masculine energy. So in that respect, as far as receiving goes, it's hard to stay in the feminine energy of just sitting there and allowing. For example, if someone brought you a gift and you didn't have one for them, how does that make you feel? For most people, it makes them feel embarrassed and really uncomfortable, and they rush out at their first opportunity and buy the other person a gift to give something in return. So if that's you, then you need to look within yourself and see, if you're able to receive, or if you have some fears or belief system around that. Very important, because it's time to receive. And for the feminine energies that have done their work and they're ready for their creation to manifest, you really don't need to be doing anything right now other than purifying and staying balanced. You don't need to be taking action. You don't need to be taking action towards your twin. Second card for the feminine energy is the Four of Cups. All right, this is saying open your heart. Make sure your heart is open. Yes, you've been wounded. Yes, you've had some bad relationships. Yes, your twin flame has hurt you. Yes, your divine partner has hurt you. Your ego's been bruised. But this is part of what you're letting go of, because this whole thing is hinging upon you staying in your heart center and seeing the good. Yeah, there was some bad things, but there's some good things that are coming out of it. And this is the universe is going to reward you for what you've done. You're ready to receive that reward if you're staying in your heart. Now on other decks, we see a man with 3 cups tipped over and the hand of God next to him, offering him this much bigger, more bejeweled cup than the ones that are tipped over. And that message is be grateful for what you have. If you're so focused on what you've lost, you're not focusing on what's coming to you. And there's some awesome stuff getting ready to come to you. The hand of the universe trying to bring something to you. Are you allowing it? Do you feel worthy? Have you cleared enough? Are you ready? Have you created the space in your life to receive? You still have some time to work on it if you haven't. Romance angels say to the feminine, express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. Well, for some of you, you may need to express something to your twin or your partner or your soulmate. I'm going to leave that up to you. For, like I said, most of the feminine energy that is ready for their manifestation, because everyone's at different levels, okay? Not all twins are going to come into union at the same time. It's going to happen in waves. So for those of you that are getting ready now, I feel most of you are more pulled back from your twin. And I'm going to talk about that in my video about the solstice and go into that more. But for some of you that are just starting out or rather new to this journey, you may need to express something. But I think also this is saying to the feminine, just be love. Be love everywhere you go. Everything that you express, come from a place of love with it. And that's part of being in an open heart and part of being in the energy of receiving. For the masculine energy, the first card is the Ace of Cups. Healing. And you see there's a full moon on the card. There's some healing energy coming in for you masculines at this Sagittarius full moon. And it's a renewal of love and a new commitment to love, a new belief in love. Again, this card is about receiving as well. And I often use the metaphor of the Ace of Cups to talk about receiving and how if your cup is full, you can't receive anything else. You have to dump some of that cup out. You have to make some space in that cup. That means letting go of belief systems and identities and karma and people and situations, everything that's filled up that cup. It's kind of similar to this card. You know, all those bad things, all the times you had your heart broken, all the times a relationship didn't work out for you. You know, are you holding on to that hurt, or can you let it go and allow some new energy to come in? It's part of the healing, letting go of the past. Very important. And remember, masculine energy, it's time for you to receive too. I've been talking about the feminine receiving, but you just as much are going to receive a lot. In all ways, receiving of abundance. And it's this third energy that's grounding, that's bringing the two of you together. And that's part of the abundance that you're going to get. You know, new love. So we have the Ace of Wands. So 2 aces for you guys. Talk about new beginning energy. And of course, the sun moving into Cancer, which is the summer solstice, that will be bringing in a bunch of new energy. But things are manifesting for you as well. Things are grounding. To me, this is like another way of saying the spiritual energy is coming down. You're getting your drive back. You are getting your passion for life back. And wands are fire. Sagittarius, fire. Inspiration. I think this card can have to do with some awakening energies too. It's that spiritual fire. Passion, expansion, getting ready to move forward. The romance angels say to the masculine, stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. You're manifesting too. And the key to manifestation is staying positive. And it's a time for all to have faith in the process. You know, we forget sometimes how you masculines are having to go through some really difficult energy, and you have, you know, in the last year or so. And it hasn't been easy for you. And you guys haven't always had faith. But it's time now to keep the faith. All right, the energy of union. The first card is Contemplation. This is the Hermit card. One of the meanings of this card is spiritual awakening. And so to me, it's representing, you know, your higher self coming in, achieving more wisdom. It also has to do with going within and finding your own light, finding what makes you special, finding who you truly are. And I just heard that song we used to sing in Sunday school, This Little Light of Mine. And I feel like, yeah, it's finding that little light within you. And that light is growing and growing and growing, and it's expanding. And you're becoming a light for others. But with the Hermit, it's also a need to go within, a time to be quiet, a time to be still. And I feel that going in and being still, remember, that's when we're able to receive. You're still thinking about each other, though, and we see Abelard drawing a picture of Eloise, his love. So there'll still be a lot of thinking, but I'm feeling that during this time period and around this whole month, it's going to be more of a time to be alone and be an inner reflection, and to really take the time to nurture yourself right now. All the answers that you need are within you. They're not outside of you. So your time is better served by going within rather than being too much, like reading too much on Facebook and that sort of thing. Now, I normally draw 2 romance angels cards, but 3 came out this week. So the romance cards for the joint energy of the masculine and feminine is let go of control issues. Allow this situation to unfold naturally. I'm not even going to talk about that, guys, because that card comes out like every week. Second card, chemistry. There is a strong magnetic attraction here. Well, that third energy is coming down, and it is making that attraction between the masculine and feminine an unstoppable force. It's like the 2 energies are on a collision course. And when I see this card, chemistry, it tells me that everything is under control. The twin flames come together by their very chemistry, by their very chemical makeup. It's alchemy. And it's not going to be because you said something or you did something to your twin and suddenly they woke up and then you guys got together. It's not like that. No, you do not have to be in communication with your twin. No, you do not have to be in union with your twin in 3D. No, you do not have to live in a vicinity close to each other. None of that matters because there's a chemistry that functions between the masculine and feminine. There's a pull, there's a magnetism, and it's beyond anyone's control. It really takes on a life of its own. So yeah, if you're not in contact with your twin or anything like that, don't worry, it doesn't matter. Last card. Very soon. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you. Also a time this month, I'm getting to be very clear, very focused intentions, and stick to them. It's part of how you're manifesting is going by your clear intentions. So very soon, and we've had this very soon card a lot. Stay in your faith. Stay in your knowing. Despite whatever your situation is. If you're a twin flame, things are coming together for you. No one knows how yet. No one knows who, what, when, where, why. But it doesn't matter. Surrender. Let go. Clear away the old. Get ready to embody the new. If you'd like a personal reading, Twinstrology is my website. Again, follow me on Facebook at Twinstrology. Love you guys, and I'll see you soon.